This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria, Sicilian cuisine at its best. Paisan cuisine as well. It's made up fresh every day, 7 days a week. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, it's First Tier Bank. Talk to them about their CD rates right now with great APYs, annual percentage yields. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the main repair center for autos and trucks over on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center, which has been very busy. Thanks to our summertime hail, you'll find them over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy was over there today, seeing my good friends Gene and the great staff over there. Medicap Pharmacy, same location as always, Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Pipe Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. The original location over on Vandehigh, and of course, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Banking and more, always offered at Platte Valley Bank. Kia of Cheyenne, reminding you the 18's got to go, so that means you are going to find some great deals right now. AJ and Greg, the Millers, say come on by and shop with them because they want to put you in the Kia of your dreams. The 19s are on their way, so save now and save big at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. I want to thank Alex. She came by and dropped off one of those delicious lemonades for us today. Oh, yes. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much, Alex. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, where you will find over at Ray and Cindy's place breakfast, lunch, and dinner served up 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Don't forget they got 2 convenient drive-thrus. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service having one hell of a sale and going pretty good right now. If you are a fan of Jayco's, maybe you have not even had a chance to experience Jayco. Check out what the great lines of Jayco products they have over there. RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and you're going to find some very, very special deals right now. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Taco John's, it's easy to say it. Taco Tuesday today at all Taco John's. Save big, load up on some delicious tacos from Taco John's. And we go to the scoreboard. First, we check out what's going on with Nick, if there's anything happening on his scoreboard today.
I don't have anything, unfortunately. No LCCC action with soccer, nothing volleyball side. Do want to remind folks, however, with high school football coming up this Friday, as it will be, what is it, week 4? I don't know, with that 0 week, again, we're at...
It's week 4, yeah.
All right, week 4, but game number 5 for us. We will have Cheyenne Central taking on Laramie, the Plainsmen, over in Laramie. That will be a 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:30-ish. Pre-game schedule, tentative schedule for that, where you can listen to that contest on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480kray.com, and also too on Periscope via Twitter, and also to the 1480kray YouTube channel. So 5 different ways to tune in to see the Central Iowa Indians taking on the Laramie Plainsmen coming up this Friday live in Laramie. And also, too, regarding other broadcasts, just finished up today the LCCC basketball schedule for both men and women. That will be officially announced and also, too, released on our website, 1480kray.com, where you go under the sports broadcast schedule portion of the page, where you'll see what games we will have for LCCC coming up, again, for both the men and the women, where we will be at, what home games will be coming up for LCCC. All that fun stuff will be announced tomorrow, sometime during the day, on our website and social media sites.
Major League Baseball, Rockies and the Dodgers again tonight from Chavez Ravine. Rocks now a half game behind. They got beat up last night. And it doesn't get any easier. They face Clayton Kershaw, who will match up with the southpaw from the Rockies, Kyle Freeland, who's 15-7 and having a good season. We'll see if the Rockies can get back into the top spot after tonight. Not looking too good. Also on the schedule, we'll go to the earlier games. Red Sox and the Yankees in the Bronx in the 5 o'clock hour. Blue Jays and the O's at Oriole Park. Mets and the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Royals and the Bacos at PNC. It will be the White Sox and the Indians at Progressive Field. Twins and the Tigers at Comerica. Nats and the Marlins at Marlins Park. Maybe they'll draw more than 6 people than they did last night. Whew. There was a lot of empty chairs posing as fans. Cardinals and the Bravos in Cumberland, Georgia. It will be the Reds and the Brewers around 5:40. 6 o'clock games has the Rays at the Rangers. M's at the Astros. Cubs and the Diamondbacks, 7:40 tonight at Chase Field. How about the Halos and the Athletics? That will be in the Oco in the 8 o'clock hour. And also in the 8 o'clock hour, Giants and the Padres at Petco. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Peroletti along with Nick Peroletti. Where I won't put Nick under the bus on that one. I had a very spirited discussion yesterday about my feelings about the Wyoming offense.
Your expectations for this team are way out of hand. And again,
They weren't way out of hand, Nick.
They were. Again, I told you to temperament, bring it back down to reality of what this team is. Again, this team is going to be lucky to hit 500. We know that. You now know that as well, too. Again, what did I tell you as preseason predictions going into looking at first 4 games where we are before the bye week? I flirted with this team could be 0-3 by the time it met Wofford. Guess what? It got close. It was 1-2.
They could have been 2-1. And you know what? To my dismay, they should be right now a 3-1 ball club. I will say they did, and they performed well at Missouri. Defensively, they performed well at Missouri until they ran out of gas.
I mean, it was still 16-0. It was.
Yeah, but they still. Yeah, but when again.
On the road against Missouri is a tough. I don't, even if the offense was a different team, or at least, again, you had different schemes, I still don't think you come out of Columbia with that win there.
I didn't say they would, but I expected them to be, after Wofford, 3-1. Yes, I did. Yeah, they're 2-2.
You're insane for that, but at least.
Well, they're 2-2, so I'm 1 game off the pace.
They got lucky with 1 win.
All right, again, I throw this back at Saturday, you. Let me throw this back at you, Nick. Do you believe in your heart?
What?
And again, if the Cowboys had some different schemes, do you believe in your heart that Washington State was a better team than the Cowboys?
No, not how they play.
Thank you.
No, well, I don't know what you want me to admit. Again, it's Wyoming that shot themselves in the foot. Again, this offensive schemes that are put out there. Again, the play calling by our great offensive coordinator is not doing anything for this team. Again, I've told you this for 4 weeks now, for 4 different games of what is holding back this team.
Yeah,
it's offensive play calling.
Well, we said this last year too. This is not bulletin board material.
This is stuff. And again, I could bring up those stats again. 2017, this team was dead last in the Mountain West for offense.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. You know, we are. How do I describe it? We're not a network affiliate, so we don't want to step on the university's toes.
Not afraid to, again.
Yeah.
That's what we're an opinionated show.
Because we're telling the truth.
Yeah.
We're not lying to you.
We're not far off the pulse of kind of the Cowboy Nation right now.
Yeah, Cowboy Nation's not happy right now with this offensive unit. Granted, I will say this. Injuries, yeah, But you have
every team has injuries.
But you have depth, and you have to apply that depth into these. You got to park them in these positions, and you got to make the offense run. And I don't believe that the running backs like Valladay is going, oh, I'm third team, I better not hit the hole that they tell me to go to. That doesn't work that way. They know the offensive schemes. They run them every day in practice.
It's not like they're brand new to football. Again, this is now some of them have been playing since as a kid. They know how football operates. They know how, okay, look for an open hole, get it.
It's a sad state.
Here's how to catch a ball.
It's a sad state of affairs when old fart here at 61 years old, who has seen a lot of football games, including Wyoming Cowboys football, when you can sit up in the press box and say, hey, son, watch what the Cowboys call on this play. And
hell, half the time I was telling you.
And Sonny Boy comes back and says, hey, Dad, watch what they're going to call here. I mean, that is pretty doggone sad state of affairs when you already know the playbook of the Wyoming Cowboys. It's horrible. And again, it's minor league calling as far as I'm concerned. I will call them out. I'm not afraid to call them out. I don't – what, I'm going to lose network affiliation status?
Boo-hoo.
I care.
Yeah.
But then again, too, those that have to pussyfoot around and can't call and can't call it like they see it, because I know I wasn't the only one up there going, wow, this is not cool. There was a lot of people that were griping and belly aching up there. Oh, I'm sorry. What little media was up there on Saturday?
There was hardly any.
And the fans on our side of the stadium,
which were hardly any.
No, they were there. But correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't they booing when the offense was going 3 and out?
Yeah. Here we go again. 4th down and 1. And again,
we're not booing the kids. I understand that. I'm not booing the kids.
No, you're booing.
I'm booing the play
calling. Absolutely.
The play calls
again,
are terrible.
Why do we again? For how many instances in that contest, it's 3rd and however, again, 3rd in quite a distance, and we run the ball. And again, nothing against Valladay. He can certainly break off. He's certainly not – I'd have more confidence in a Nico Evans probably doing it, probably also to Bigelow to maybe get that first down yardage. It's not going to happen every single time. But in that situation, again, what tells me in my mind, what do you do on a 3rd down and long is let Vanderwall air it out. Let him have some sort of play that gets it, again, lets those receivers run a little bit. I think they had speed advantage over, again, that's at least secondary for Wofford. Let him have fun. Is there hesitation with Vanderwall? Is it something that redshirt freshman status that he has scares Brett Vegan?
Whatever happened to patterns like, and again, if you notice, all of our
you can do curls, you can do out routes.
Yeah, all of our stuff is rollout.
Yeah.
And we're going to the sideline. What happens to...
You can't do an inside slant?
You can't go inside. You can't have the tight end do a curl, go to the chains and make 8 yards, turn around and fire him the football. Come on. I mean, this play calling is if this is a pro-style offense, then you must be the Cleveland Browns, because that's how pathetic it is. Yeah, and I feel bad because, again, like you mentioned yesterday, I think Tyler Vanderwall has got a lot of potential.
He does. He has great talent, but I don't know why we're being temperamental with him and why we have to basically treat him as that title in front of him suggests is, oh, he's a redshirt freshman. We got to be cautious with him. I don't trust. We don't have trust in this guy that he can make those plays. I think he can. And I don't know what the issue right now with that coaching staff of why they have to be temperamental, why they have to be conservative with him. It doesn't make sense. And again, we've seen many a plays. It does also too, 50% is on Tyler Vanderwall, and the rest of the 50% is on those wide receivers that also too need to make those plays. So there is a little back and forth where, again, it's not all Tyler Vanderwall's fault when he's making those 50-yard plays and it's missing on the spot because those wide receivers, either forgot their routes, can't catch that ball, maybe get a little accidental pass interference by a defender. But other than that, though, it's for 4 games, why we're being conservative with this offense? Why is it so again?
It's dull.
I guess whatever worked in North Dakota State is not translating well to FBS.
Well,
and it makes sense why.
I think the coach's record bears out that fruit. 24-31. Now here's what I'm going to say. I say it on a Tuesday. I know it's a bye week. I do believe that we are going to get some of the troops back. Austin Fort, I think the knee's going to allow him to come back.
Yeah.
The rib injury that Nico Evans had. I do believe that he's going to be able to be available, and that the bye week came at the right time. But I'm telling you right now,
Wofford came at the right time, but it kind of blew up in the face of where, again, I thought it was the opponent.
We actually found out what the problems really are. And here's the deal.
I knew the problem.
You knew the problems, but here's what I'm saying. It is what? We're 11, excuse me, I got to get my old calculator. You're about 11 days away from the next football game against Boise State.
Good luck.
Right now, you could put Austin Fort back in there. You could put Nico Evans back in there. We're going up against Boise State. Boise State is going to be ornery. They're going to be very angry because they lost at OK State. They have a game.
Well, also too, they've been upset by Wyoming before in Laramie. So.
Yeah, they got upset by one Josh Allen who knew how to throw to Marquardt. Also, also was Hollister and Gentry. I hope I'm getting those names right.
I don't know.
But anyway, my point is, back in that game, you look back there, Josh Allen did some amazing things. And the defense. The defense did some wonderful things as well, too, including that big safety.
And I think someone complimented on what I said yesterday on the show was what Josh Allen did with this offense, because, again, it's been the same offense. We've been under this Brett Vegan, era for quite some time with the Wyoming Cowboys, but it's almost, as we talk how good an ad-libber Josh Allen is, he's a good ad-libber of that offense, especially trying to maneuver well. You might want to do, again, we're suggesting a run play on a 3rd and 15. Josh Allen goes, well, maybe we'll throw the pass. It was he was unique, and again, hence the reason why he was at least a first-round draft pick and a potential face of the franchise for the Buffalo Bills. But this offense has issues, clearly. And again, will anything change during this at least during the bye week? Will anything be adjusted? You can only hope so.
No,
but I doubt it.
They will. They'll stay right.
I mean, what is it going to take for this team to change and realize that this play calling, this play style, this offensive coordination is not working.
Right.
You were dead last season. You're close to dead last. You're not there yet, but obviously we haven't played a full season yet. This is not a good trend.
And once you go back, like you said, go back to 16. Josh Allen, you had Brian Hill, who was just
you had 2016 was a unique team.
And I call him Marquardt. You had Jake Mulhart, you had Hollister, you had Gentry, you had all of these weapons around you. You also had a young offensive line behind the great Chase Rouillet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But we made things happen. But if you remember, Josh Allen made a lot. That's why do you think Josh Allen got noticed? He didn't get noticed because he was firing Colin Kaepernick bullets over the middle. He was making plays that were impossible.
Yeah.
And he was running for his life half of the time when he was making those plays. So, you sit there and you go, okay, Tyler Vanderwall, you are a redshirt freshman. You have a lot of potential. I like your makeup. I like your height.
Mm-hmm.
I like Nico Evans in the backfield. I've liked Bigelow and Valladay that performed.
I mean, our rushing core right now compared to last season, where it was who knows going to be the running back because none of them were doing anything fantastic.
I like the offensive line. It's obviously opening holes.
Yeah, absolutely. Compared to last year,
I like our receivers, but our play calling is just not innovative. It's dull.
No.
That's all. And then on the defense, the defensive side is more active than I feel like the offense. The defense has more structure and has more finesse than the offense.
Yeah.
And the defense has been basically a one-man wrecking crew. You throw away the fourth quarter against Washington State. They were tired. You throw away Missouri simply for the fact that the offense did bupkis in that game. Against Wofford, they kept you in the ball game.
Absolutely. They allowed you to win that game.
And Wofford did nothing but run the ball. They basically said, we're Air Force, try to stop us.
Yeah, and Wyoming, again, at least that defense kept it true, but just couldn't put any points on the board. It was a pathetic effort.
I mean, gosh, this is very – New Mexico State, do I need to say any more what the defense did? And again,
I think New Mexico. I think Wofford. I thought Wofford, at least in my opinion now, I think Wofford could probably beat New Mexico State, especially looking at what the Aggies have been doing this season. New Mexico State is really not the team that I thought they were. They're pretty much that terrible old school New Mexico State team that was a joke back in the WAC days. Cowboys, of why they got that victory is because, again, in my opinion, I think Wofford could probably beat that team anytime, any day. Wofford really did impress me, but again, this is something where I could have easily have said, at least at this point in time, again, 2-2. I think it's on par with this team. You should expect out of this team.
Well,
4-0 is out of the realm. 0-3, again, I thought that was personally a possibility. Who knows?
Let me put it this way. If they don't inject a personality into this offense, and I'm saying you take Brett Vegan out of this offense, you need to install somebody in there who can throw some wrinkles at a defense. Mm-hmm. Not off tackle, not run between the 4 and 6 hole all the time, and not throw out patterns. And then, wait a minute, we'll open up and we'll go long once in a while.
You would hope so, because, again, Vanderwall does have that arm. He does have that tool. He knows how to put it on spot with those wide receivers down the field, but he just never has the opportunity.
Like I said,
again, with Brent Vegan, this offensive play calling, these schemes, it worked for him in FCS. Well, guess what? This is the FBS.
He's got the blessing of Craig Bowl, Mr. 24 and 31.
I'm just saying, this is the division higher where, hey, you make real money up here. You play against big boys.
And the game's a little faster.
Absolutely. Again, if you want to take that offensive play calling, and go back to the FCS. Do what my former alma mater did out of Idaho, again, where they were in the FBS. It didn't work for them. That offense was putrid. They had to realize they weren't winning games. They had to move down to FCS. I don't think Wyoming should do that.
Well, again, those of you that.
But I'm just saying, if you think that offense is set in stone, or at least good enough to get it done in the FCS, then I guess that's what Wyoming needs to do.
I stand by what I said yesterday. I'm not backing down on it. Again,
I don't think you should.
And again, I hope I echo some sentiments of Cowboy Nation, because we're bored. We're bored and sick and tired of it. And again, I've given this coaching staff a pass. No more passes. Now you're going to be judged every ball game.
You should have been doing that last season.
And you started with an F against Wofford. Defense, give you high marks. But unfortunately, the offense did not carry the load. You can't get a 50% grade from me. I got to have both elements working.
Again, you have the tools and the talent for both sides, offense and defense. It's just not translating. Those plays are not complementing what we have on the offensive side.
What excuse are you going to give me? And again, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. What excuse are you going to give me if Boise State beats you by a couple 3 scores? What excuse are you going to give me at your press conference?
They're a very good team. It's a top 25 team.
So was Wofford. Wofford was a very good team. Missouri was a very good team. Is Mizzou better than Wofford? Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But
I'm just saying that will be the excuse, I would assume, of if you lose to Boise, which, again, the Cowboys absolutely should. I do not anticipate, again, if this offense stays the same comes Boise State time, that defense is going to keep them in. But Boise is one of those teams that takes advantage of those short fields, can take advantage and pummel down that defense, especially in the third, fourth quarter where, hey, you've been out here for about 30 minutes, you're tired. Guess what? Here I am, Ripien, the quarterback there with Boise. I know how to take advantage of your weaknesses. I know how to, again, they know how. Boise State is that team that is that offensive juggernaut. Yeah. They have been. And it's the reason why former Coach Peterson now plays, or at least coaches, up at the University of Washington.
But you know what? I'm going to hang my hat on that defense. I know that defense will. I know the Wyoming Cowboy defense will keep you in the ball game as long as you can try to keep them off the field. Let them get a blow once in a while. Don't give them 3 and outs and then expect them to be great every time. Guys do get worn down, and that's what we've done to our defense. Our defense is good.
They're very good.
And again,
I think the offense offense can be very good, but again, you don't have the right plays to complement this team.
On October 1st, which would be a Monday press conference, if I hear the same press conference, I'm going to go just bonkers, because you know what?
you're going to be at that time 24-32, and I'm going to be tired of excuses. I want results. I want them now.
And that's kind of the anticipation, or at least what the expectation was with the Craig Bowl of, hey, you're winning championships down in the FCS. Maybe it translates up here to the FBS. Well, far.
And he told us he was going to win Mountain West. That's what he came here to do.
Well, in 5 years, you got nothing.
Well, you
came close.
You got to a championship game against San Diego State.
And
you got to host it, too.
In bowl games, you're what? 1-1.
And again, to me, 2 bowl games, the Poinsettia Bowl, $700,000 bowl, and the famous Potato Bowl, $700,000 bowl. When are we going to get to the 7-figure bowls? That, to me, means you have accomplished something. And this team deserves to be in that 7-figure bowl. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We come back. It is time for the head man of the University of Wyoming Cowboys football team, Craig Bohl, to step up to the microphone and answer some questions. We're back after these words.
Now is the time to start planning for a safe ride home by designating a sober driver for those up-and-coming special occasions. You know, those occasions when alcohol is more likely going to be present, like the occasional fall and winter wedding receptions, sports, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve parties. This is retired Wyoming Patrol Captain Troy McLeese asking you to beat death and don't cheat life. Designate a sober driver for all occasions. This message brought to you by Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Injury Prevention and Traffic Safety.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll continue to be partly cloudy with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 75. And on Wednesday night, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
Guys, we'll go ahead and get started. It was a competitive game like we thought it would be against Wofford. I had deep concerns going into the ball game with the physical condition of our football team, and also knowing past histories of how Wofford plays. And it turned out to be a little bit closer than maybe what I thought, but the type of game did not surprise me. And so much credit to our opponents there. I thought they came out and had a good game plan. There's some things that we got exposed on. We had to make some adjustments. I thought we learned a lot about our football team during the course of the game, and certainly the last 2-minute drive, I think, is something that we're really going to benefit from. And so we'll build on that. And we're going to utilize this week to work hard on fundamentals, and quite frankly, we need to get healed up. I mean, we were really super thin at a lot of positions going into this ball game, and I was deeply concerned if we would have enough playmakers and enough depth to get through a physical game. And we knew Wofford would play physical, and they certainly did. So it was a good win. There are things on the tape that, we need to improve on, but that does not minimize the fact of overcoming some adversity and winning the game. I had talked to our football team last week going into it. Our whole main objective was to get to 1-0. I said, we've got a bye week coming up. We'll get healed up. I think there's going to be a ton of players who were not able to play last game will be available against Boise. And that's going to have a different, we'll have a different makeup in our roster, and it also have a different makeup of the things that we can do both offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game as well. And so a good win. Certainly there's things we can do better, but that's not to minimize, the old adage, well, a win is a win. No, that was an important win. We set 2-2 with our non-conference schedule behind us now. And now we go into, our preparations for what we're really striving for is to win our conference championship. And as you saw the scores this last weekend by a lot of members within our conference, I think we're doing pretty doggone well nationally. And the teams that we'll be playing in the future here are excellent football teams. We'll spend some time on Boise this week, but really we're going to work on ourselves. So at this time, questions? Yes.
Can you talk about the last drive? To see the way Tyler responded, particularly after the interception, he seemed to remain fairly calm with what he needed to do or focused on what he needed to do. Maybe see if he got hurt.
I think you're accurate there. First of all, he took a heck of a hit, and we got to correct that. And he was in his middle of his throwing motion; it hadn't started yet. But to come up with an interception at that time of the game, I think it. That's going to shake a quarterback up, not only physically but mentally. And then to operate that last drive, I believe it was 80 yards, pretty tight timeline. You have to be doing all kinds of things correct, managing the clock, managing protections, getting into first, second, third reads with your progression. And I thought he really showed up well. Those things you try to replicate in practice. Or sometimes, we did a nice job at the end of the first half. So I think that's one of his best attributes. I had a good conversation with him this morning. And, he's going to really benefit from that. And our football team's going to benefit from that as well. Yes, Robert.
You do have this bye week, but what guys are you hoping to maybe get back next
Sure.
week? Or are there any guys that you won't have back?
The list is so long, Robert. I don't have it with me. I talked to Tim Harkins before I came in. That's why we didn't even release a depth chart, because he had so many oars in there. It was, a pretty lengthy list. However, I can point to a couple guys. We're in hopes that Austin Fort will be back. I think Nico Evans should be back. Tyler Hall, we'll see as we go. C.J. Colden. There's a whole list of guys, but I think the most promising guys would probably be Austin Ford and Nico right now.
You say Evans should be back. Is that going to be a part to getting this run game going? He's 3.3 yards per carry against.
Boy, you're throwing out those numbers. You're on top of it. Yep. Thank you for reminding me that. We want to run the ball 3.3 yards. Yeah. I'll be nice. I think there's two things. First of all, the running back does make a difference, and we really had to choose what runs we did last week because, we had one running back who had any experience. Now, we had some other guys that were prepping, but Wofford did a nice job. But we need to run the football better, but Nico is our best runner, and there's a reason why he was at the top of the depth chart. And so it'll be great to have him back, and I think we certainly need to generate more yards rushing. That's not our MO to not be balanced, and so we need to increase those yardage. So certainly a good player running the football is going to be helpful. Yes.
Coach, you addressed the physical nature in the games you've played the last few. Is there something that you do, obviously can't do it now in the middle of the season, but in the future about, being a little healthier and gearing up for some of these physical games?
The overarching answer to that is recruiting and developing depth, because we have a formula where we're planning to play, a couple quote autonomous five. I won't use the word power five, but to do some home and homes. I think our fans deserve that. It certainly speaks well to our program, and that means to do that you've got to take those trips to where we were at, and so. We plan on playing this type of schedule. It'd be nice to maybe have some space in between them, but nonetheless, they're going to be there. And a lot of these contracts have been set years from now. And so we're going to make an active role to continue to recruit at depth. You know, our first couple of years, it was hard for us to even to get to 85 scholarships. You know, we were able to slide some scholarships around and award some aid to some walk-ons. But when you start to look at trying to get to 85, and that's when you really fortify your depth, and that comes from recruiting and building a walk-on program to where you're going to have injuries. Now, I can tell you the stretch between Wazoo and then the Missouri one, that was tough. But we're going to have those in the future, and so we've got to be on the front of the curve. I thought we were in pretty good shape, but we took more of a licking than what we'd like. And then you back that up by playing somebody like Wofford. I mean, just knowing the nature of that, there was deep concern that I had as a head football coach and a lot of our assistants, because that was going to be a physical game as well. And you know, if you walked out there on the field and you saw the physical stature of those guys, I get their FCS. I've seen them take Clemson and South Carolina to the mat before too. So it was going to be that type of game. And so we got a long-range plan. We're going to have more of these type games in the future. Yes.
As you get into your conference part of your season, how would you kind of assess after those 4 games of maybe the strengths or things you like about this team and the major concerns?
Right.
Not weaknesses, but concerns moving forward.
Well, first of all, going into the year, we felt like we had a tremendous amount of experience on defense. You know, I think we've been tested there. You know, we came out of the gate against New Mexico State, who had the optics on the outside was a real prolific offense, and you know, I thought our guys were really dominant in that game, and certainly our offense helped. But then we ran into 2 really, really talented offensive football teams, and that's going to make us better. Our numbers were not anywhere close to where they need to be, but those things expose some areas where we need to address and improve on. I think our pass rush is something that we have got to improve on. Last week was not an indication that style of offense, but we've got to improve on our pass rush. I mean, I think we got some talented players up there. You know, certainly some things in the secondary we got to improve there. You know, our quarterback is a work in progress. He made progress last week in a tough situation, and so we're, I would say, pleased, marginally pleased, maybe. I mean, he's got some work to do to improve. Our completion percentage went up, and that's a credit to our receivers, our protection, and our quarterback. But you know, I think we're doing a fairly good job taking care of the football. I would like to get a couple more takeaways. Our place kicking has been outstanding. Our punting has been somewhat of a mixed bag, and our coverage units, I think, have been good. We need to probably get some more explosive returns. So, you know, we're 2-2. I don't know how everybody, if you set your calendar home in the summer and you go through and you kind of speculate where you'd be, I'm not going to comment where I thought we would be, but I think 2-2 is, you know, a position where we know a lot more about our football team right now, Robert, and we're going to get ready to get in the meat of conference play.
You just mentioned the secondary. You have Andrew Wingard in that third quarter making the pick in the end zone. I mean, that's a game changer right there for you. So can you maybe harp on what he needs to improve, or that?
Yeah, I think he needs to make sure he doesn't get a personal foul.
Greg, a lot was made of Tyler of building on that performance in the last 2 minutes. But what does a drive like that do for a team to be able to win a game like that?
I think it sends a message of confidence. You know, nothing builds success like success. And for Tyler to be back there and operating a 2-minute drill in a tough scenario where you've got to score, and it can't be a field goal. You got to score a touchdown, and for him to deliver. And you know, not everything just was drawn up exactly perfect. He had to improvise and do some things with the football. He took care of the football. He took care of the time on the clock, and he didn't get rattled. And so I think it sends a message to him that he can do it, and it also sends a message to our whole football team that you know, he can operate a 2-minute drill and good. That's a long ways to go. It wasn't like we got the ball on the 40-yard line and threw the ball in the end zone a couple times. It was good for a youngster.
Will you practice like you normally would this week as far as what you'll do, and then I imagine you or the staff be out recruiting as well on this bye week?
A little bit of a mix. We'll probably do less contact than what we've had in the previous years, Robert, and some of it is just because of where we're at. And I think we'll have some padded practices, but most of the stuff will be some non-padded work, working on some fundamentals and getting our position right. We will utilize the week also in recruiting, so we're trying to cram a lot of things in, and most staffs do that. But we're probably going to cut back on the amount of banging that we've done simply because of that long list that we had, and I think we'll get some of those guys back.
Coach, when you talk about bringing a lot of guys back from injury and getting ready for a conference schedule to get going, are there any concerns with timing or chemistry with some of these players who might have missed some time getting back in on the team, getting some reps?
You know, I really don't think so. I think that through this, most of the guys that we're asking to play that have been out have played a pretty significant amount of time, and so I think we can get that back in sync fairly quickly. That's a good question, though. We'll do some work, you know, not only this week, but certainly earlier in the week. You know, next week we'll adjust our schedule. We'll be more aggressive at the beginning part of the week than what we normally have been. Now, some of that's going to be contingent upon where some of these guys are at. You know, we think a lot of the guys are going to be available and ready to play against Boise, but you don't play a program like that by showing up and saying, "Hey, on Thursday, Coach, I'm ready to go. Put me in." I mean, that's going to take some reps, but we have I don't want to say the luxury because they're in the same situation we're in to have some extra time.
Greg, you mentioned that post-game Saturday that you didn't have 17 anymore, you've got 18 now.
Yep.
I'm curious, how much have you talked to Tyler this summer, this fall, about maybe not trying to be Josh Allen, just kind of be his own self?
I had a good conversation with him this morning, you know, about some of the attributes that I see with him. Brent Vegan does a great job coaching him. I learned a long time ago you don't want too many guys talking to the quarterback, but there's some attributes that I see that are really encouraging and some things that I encourage him to maybe, you know, improve on. And so, you know, love Josh Allen to death. You know, it's great to see. I know they didn't get off to a great start, but we have 18, and 18 can do some good things, and he's our guy. Yes?
On the subject of him again, when you talk about the confidence from that final two drives early,
Yeah.
do you think it was did more for the confidence of his teammates and what he's capable of doing, or more in his confidence of what he's capable of doing?
I think it's kind of a draw there. I mean, certainly when you're out there and you're having to operate that and you succeed, that's those experiences embed a great deal of confidence. Along with that, though, a quarterback's play is so contingent upon so many of the others around them. And when a guy steps in the huddle and spouts out the formation, you know, there's a sense of, hey, let's get it up and go. And past experiences lend themselves to better success. So it's a win-win from that standpoint. And, you know, while it may have been more comfortable for the old ball coach like myself to win by 21 and maybe some of our fans, I think that there's a silver lining in the fact that we got tested right there, and number 18 got tested, and he answered the bell.
Is that encouraging to you to have so many players out and then see so many of your younger players step up, rise to that occasion?
It was probably not an ideal situation, but it was great to see a lot of those players out there who, you know, have not played very much and that were playing in really critical times and happen to make plays. And so that certainly builds depth. You know, I was concerned about not coming up with a win. You know, I told all our guys, heck how you feel at the beginning of the week, last week. We got to figure out a way to get to 1-0. Let's do what we can to win the game. And so we counted on a lot of guys who were younger players that played meaningful time, and we won.
Coach, you've had 4 games now to evaluate the freshman at running back and quarterback. How do you feel they've played so far through these 4 games?
Well, we'll start out, first of all, with the quarterback. I think he's improving. Maybe, you know, I think certainly this last game, you know, it was being at home and having some things go his way. But there's some errant balls that he threw, a couple missed keys, and he knows he's got to get better. So I think he's improving, and we feel like he's got a real bright future. With the freshman running backs, X did a great job in the game. I mean, he had a critical catch on 4th down, and that was a huge play. And it was not, the ball wasn't particularly thrown well. I mean, he had to reach over and bend, and so that was a big play by X. And he did some good things in the running game, but I thought where he really did a great job was his pass protection. He's not very big. And he hung in there a couple times. Some guys, linebackers, came blitzing, and they tried to bull rush him, and he dropped the anchor and did a good job. So we're pleased with him. We think Javon Bigelow's got a great future, and he was not available, and so I think the future looks bright at those 2 spots. Any other questions? Okay, thanks for showing up. Oh yes, we got 2 guys online. Okay, any
Coach, speaking of Tyler, I guess, just how impressed were you with the amount of hits that he had to take in that game and, kind of still endured those hits as a young kid?
Well, we ran him a couple times, which we hadn't been doing much of. He did take a pretty big hit, on the one interception. Outside of that, I thought we protected him well, but I think he's showing the ability to hang in the pocket, not to have happy feet and, chuck and duck. Earlier in the year, there was a couple times where I didn't think he was particularly patient and he didn't want to hang in there and take a hit. Well, he's taken a hit now. He's taken a couple hits, but it wasn't like he just got beat up. I think he's got a bounce in his step. So it was good that he didn't take a bunch of hits, but I think it's pretty good that he took some, and he took a licking and he kept on ticking.
Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Year Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. They have a 16-month CD at an annual percentage yield of 2.33% and a 27-month CD at an APY of 2.74%. First Year Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll continue to be partly cloudy with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 75. And on Wednesday night, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480. K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, 3:54 our time. Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti. We just heard the press conference from one coach, Craig Bull of the University of Wyoming Cowboys, and we heard some of the media throwing some of the, I guess, softball questions. We do have a phone caller on the line who's been waiting patiently, so let's go to our phone caller and say good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing real good. What's on your mind?
Well, I just got done listening to the press conference, and it just sounds like the same press conference I've heard for the last 3 weeks. That, we're injured, we're banged up, we got to get well, we got to get healthy, and our recruiting will help us compete. And I look at it this way: our defense is sound, but our offense is lethargic at best. And it's one of those situations that maybe you need to, maybe it's not so much recruiting or anything else along those lines. Maybe it's we need to go find more of a hungry offensive coordinator to call our offensive plays than what we're doing.
Well, unfortunately, and that's very good points, and I've made the points too. A lot of this staff has been with Coach Bull since North Dakota State, including one Brent Vegan. So, I don't think he's going to tear his right arm off. He would rather just sit there and tell you and me and the media that how banged up we are. And, and here's my first thought is, well, if you're so damn banged up, don't schedule these big boy teams then, because obviously they're hurting us.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, this is not rocket science. And I'm like you. I'm tired of the excuses. You're 24-31, coach. 5 seasons. You're not even above the Mendoza line. Your last 2 years, you barely got above, and you got us into nickel and dime bowls as far as I'm concerned.
Right, exactly. And it's got to be a situation where, if you want to go compete with those teams, you've got to have – I was always told when I was in college athletics, Larry, that, you're only as good as the head coach as good as the assistants that you have around you. And, right now it doesn't look like the assistants, to me, are pulling their weight or at the same time wanting to even try and compete at this level. And to compete at this level, you got to pull out your A game, and you got to pull it out every day, every week for the entire season, and including the off season. And they're just not doing it.
I've sat for years up in that press box, and, and I have the luxury this year with my son being there, and I'm real glad of his knowledge of athletics. And when you and me and my son can just tell you what the next play is going to be before it even runs, something's seriously wrong. And then I ask myself, well, if I'm watching this game, what the hell is the offensive coordinator watching? And again, he's nowhere near back in the days of a Bill Walsh who had scripted plays.
We'll talk about opposing teams scouting this team of where if it's that predictable, it's a cakewalk for them. Okay, you know what they're going to do on 3rd and long. We know how to adjust to that. We know maybe they're going to do a sweep play or at least run it up the gut. You know that.
Yeah,
hey, let's stack it then.
Their tendencies are easy to, scout, like you said.
Absolutely.
Nick. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, caller.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's for a defensive coordinator from an opposing team, it's like going into a poker match and you're knowing everybody's tell, basically.
Yeah.
Because they give it away too easily on what they're going to do, and you've got to mix it up. And if you're an offensive coordinator, it's an old slogan. You've got to overcome and adapt. You've got to figure out a new way.
Yeah, and obviously the head coach of the Cowboys again. I was on the bandwagon. I was there. I was backing him up. I gave him a pass. Sorry, I can't give him a pass anymore. I'm thoroughly disappointed. And if I was a true blue Cowboy fan, lived here all my life, I'd be up in arms right now because obviously he's a much better coach than Dave Christensen. But I watched this team, and I can only think back to the Vic Koenig era that is, when our offense was just putrid.
Yes, exactly. The Vic Koenig era, even, Dave Christensen somewhat, and to be honest with you, a lot of it is almost somewhat reflective of when Dana Dimel was the coach. It's just lethargic at best, and you want to be able to compete with these teams, and you look at these teams and they adjust their playbook weekly.
It's interesting that you mentioned this, though, with Vic Koenig, Dana Dimel, Dave Christensen. But I remember when Joe Tiller came in, and again, the late Larry Corpitz, who was the architect of the West Coast offense that Coach Tiller had put in play after he took over from Paul Roach. And people did embrace it real quick. Then all of a sudden, Josh Walworth came into the mold, and next thing you know, boy, we couldn't get enough of that West Coast offense. I don't know why we don't go back to something like that. We have a kid in Tyler Vanderwall who's got a cannon. Are you telling me that we have no receivers who can't catch a cold? I mean, I don't know. Are these patterns so specific that they have to be outs and maybe run a streak or a flag pattern? I don't know. Brent Vigen needs to get out of the minor leagues and start playing major college football.
Yeah. Well, he needs to not be so conservative. He needs to take the handcuffs off and open it up is basically what he needs to do.
Absolutely. Thank you for the call. You have a great day, and hopefully we can see better fortunes against Boise State. Right now, I'm not all that sold on it.
Neither am I.
All righty. Take care. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
All righty. It's 401 at 1480 K-Ray. We got to do the government thing, and we'll be right back with hour number 2.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by Taco John's, home today of Taco Tuesday.
And I wasn't home today, though. I had to make a sandwich.
Do you want me to buy some tacos tonight?
No, I already ate, but again, you always do that. You play the sad game afterwards, and
do you want some cheese with that wine? Taco John's.
You can afford cheese at this point.
Move. Get away. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You will find the great crew over on Highway 30 having a hail of a sale right now. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Ray and Cindy's place right across from Menards. Again, convenient drive-thru, not one times 2 convenient drive-thrus, and breakfast being served up Monday through Saturday. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. And again, thank you to my good friends Greg and AJ Miller, tire staff over there. They're going to put you in the car of your dreams, and that's going to be a Kia. And they got some 18s that need to go. Adios now.
If I had the income or at least the extra money, I'd have probably gone for that Stinger.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
If you do a little more work, you might get it.
Are you
Valley Bank times 2. Original location on Vanda High and the east side location right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Lennox Auto Body times 2, where you'll find the main repair center founded by Dick Lennox and the tradition carried on by his daughter Heather. And then, of course, that is over on Dunn Avenue. Then they add to that the Auto Glass and Detail Center, which is located on Pershing Boulevard. First Year Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Mondello's Pizzeria right across the street, 7 days a week. Delicious Paisan cuisine, always freshly made at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Mars Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. And our scoreboard, always Friday Night Lights, high school hoops, college hoops with LCCC, and, of course, each Monday through Thursday now is always brought to you by our friends at Pepsi.
We could do a Friday show every once in a while. I'm just saying.
We're too busy getting ready for football.
Yeah, which we will this Friday, as we'll be on the road in Laramie with the Laramie Plainsmen.
And you, right?
Yeah, you and I, where we will be there in Laramie with the Laramie Plainsmen, as they will host the Cheyenne Central Indians, as it is Week 4, game number 5 here on 1480 K-Ray, where kickoff for that contest will be 7 o'clock, 6:30-ish pregame show here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM. 1480kray.com. Also to live streaming with video and audio on Periscope via Twitter, and also to the 1480kray YouTube channel. So 5 different ways to tune in to see Central versus Laramie. Join the thousands that join us, and yes, I do say thousands, as we had nearly 3,000 join us on the Periscope and YouTube side. So yes, join as the rest of the state, the area, the nation, the world, dare I say, is tuning in to see some Wyoming High School 4A football action. Get on board, folks, as we got some exciting games
still to come.
Absolutely.
And we have a rivalry. This is the old time.
The old time rivalry between Central versus Laramie coming up this Friday, and also too on top of that, as you mentioned with LCCC basketball, men and women's broadcast schedule here on 1480 AM K-Ray will be announced officially coming up tomorrow. We will post it on our website, 1480krae.com, and also too on our social media sites, whether it is the 1480 K-Ray at least Facebook page, on my Twitter side, on Wyoming Sports Talk Today's Facebook page. It'll be all over the place, so you know when and where LCCC basketball you can hear and watch this season.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna take your thunder away.
Let's see.
No, I'm gonna take your thunder away.
We
have a lot of games we're gonna broadcast.
We got road trips to McCook, Northeastern. For the first time, we'll be going to Alamosa, Colorado. Let's see what else. Casper, Gillette, Sheridan this year. Rock Springs.
Been there, did it, done it.
Torrington. As we are now moving again with basketball, it is now Region 9 North.
Right. All right, let's get to Major League Baseball. And the big contest that we care about, Dodgers and the Rocks tonight.
I don't care about that.
Oh, I know
I'm talking about the Giants.
I know you
And also to the A's.
Well, anyway, the Rockies and the Dodgers will be at Chavez Ravine. Great pitching matchup tonight. Pair of left-handers that are having great years. And this is just another great year for Clayton Kershaw, even though the numbers don't really bear out.
I like how it's another great year. It's just another year that he does what he does.
2.51 ERA. Kyle Freeland having a 2.96 ERA. He's 15-7. The thing that we got to watch for Kershaw tonight, watch that 12-6 curveball because he throws a lot more of them these days. Rockies and the Dodgers, that will get underway at 8 o'clock. Let's get to the scoreboard.
Dodgers now leading the West again.
By a half game.
They're still leading.
Whoopie doopie.
Hey, if the playoffs started today, guess what?
Well, guess what? The Rockies would be in the playoffs too.
Oh, St. Louis, as you poo-pooed again, Atlanta, that's going to be a fight, or at least Atlanta was going to take advantage against Seattle, or at least St. Louis. They know what they're doing.
All right, let's see what's going on in the majors. 5 o'clock games, Red Sox at the Yankees. Again, we need the Bo Sox to beat the Yankees, and the swinging A's can move into first in the wild card position.
Again, their focus is on the AL West. That's
I
still
got that, but you want to get into that number 1 wild card spot. At least you're home.
You'd rather be in the divisional round automatically.
Blue Jays will be at the Orioles. Mets will be at the Phillies. Royals and the Pirates at PNC. White Sox taking on the Indians at Progressive Field. Twins and the Motor City Kitties at Comerica. Nats at the Marlins. Oh, will they draw anybody tonight? The answer is no.
They have the worst home attendance record this entire year.
I think last night they had more people working in the stadium than they had people
sitting there. But that's been a trend
there.
for Miami for however long, since that team has been
They only have 100
franchise.
people working there. I mean, that's how many people were there last night.
I'm just saying, even with the new ballpark, it has not changed for the Marlins. Even with them becoming the Miami Marlins, no longer Florida, no one shows up for these games. South Florida fans, especially, they don't care about baseball.
We're going to move them. All right, let's see.
Move them to Montreal.
Reds and the Brewers will be at Miller Park. They're not going to move them to Montreal again.
Why not?
That was an expansion franchise, by the way.
NL East, there you go.
6 o'clock games, we'll have the Rays at the Rangers. How about the Mariners at the Astros? Mariners doing the A's a solid last night. 7 o'clock game, late 7 o'clock. Cubs and the Diamondbacks, where the Cubs beat the D-backs last night. Angels and the Swinging A's in the Oco tonight. And the Giants and the Padres, 8-10 at Petco later this evening. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up!
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Peroletti along with Nick Peroletti. Thank you to our caller before we got to the top hour.
Key word from the caller as well, too. Again, something that I brought up, conservative. This offensive play calling, conservative. Again, you are letting this talent on this offensive side just spoil away. Again, Tyler Vanderwall can be great, but for whatever reason, you got to be cautious with this guy. I don't know why. If you're so, and again, not to reiterate what I said yesterday, but again, I'll have to. If you're that worried about Tyler Vanderwall, if he can't get it done for this team, why'd you make him a starter? You do have someone who is an upperclassman, who does have starting minutes, who is accustomed to college ranks, of a Nick Smith.
Yeah, but
are you that afraid?
But Nick Smith has failed under that vanilla offensive scheme. Yeah. He has failed.
And that's why I said yesterday, I don't blame Nick Smith, or at least, again, I don't fault him, because, again, now we're seeing what the true issue is. It's this offense. It's not the offense talent. It's the offensive coordination. It's the play calling. It's terrible. It needs to go.
I think back
you burn, you shred, you do everything to that playbook and go, let's start anew.
I remember when Nick Smith started in favor of Cam Kaufman, who was going to be the big quarterback who came from Indiana.
I was going to say, now you're going out of my
realm. Oh, no. This is only 4 years ago. This is when
4 years ago, I was out of town.
And I think he scored 17 points, and unfortunately, Boise State scored 34 on the Smurf turf. But that was a great defensive effort by a defensive team that was beaten up and young. A lot of youngsters on that defense. And again, Nick Smith last year failed. And the offense failed last year at San Jose.
Yeah, that's the big blemish.
And we have that knack, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I'm calling it like I see it. I mean, you can't be that blind anymore.
Well, let me finish.
Oh. You can't be that blind when we lose to the likes of a University of North Dakota. We struggle against a Wofford. And we lose to a San Jose. What does that tell you about our vanilla offensive package? It is offensive. It smells. It needs to go. And again, I'm sitting here and I'm just shaking my head, and the caller was absolutely right. That press conference, you could have replayed that from 3 weeks ago.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing of what Bronco fans had to deal with last year with Vance Joseph. Again, every loss was, hey, it's on me. Are any changes going to happen? No. The only thing is we're going to play, ring around the rosy with our 3 quarterbacks. But do you expect anything less? Do you expect anything different from Craig Bohl, especially in those press conferences? No. Especially when, and again, not to throw those reporters on the bus, but again, we're asking the same old questions, injury reports and all this stuff, and he's going to put that excuse on that and blah, blah, blah. Again, the one question and hell, maybe we need to get on that phone call, at least that conversation with him, and go, hey, we got stats here. We got that offensive numbers. Your yards, your points for are dead last year in the Mountain West. Isn't that a telltale sign that something needs to change, Coach?
But also, too,
maybe that's something that we need to do of challenge him, because, again, for whatever reason, no one in the state wants to, or at least, again, who are in our position, to challenge this coaching staff of going, hey, we got numbers to back this up. We got stats. Your stats are awful.
Well, we tried to challenge him during the summer.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, we challenged him.
He didn't like that too much.
He didn't like me challenging him.
Yeah.
Because I'm an armchair quarterback. And so I guess that's what I'm going to be, is an armchair quarterback. But let me say this. Same thing, too, goes back to the injury report. Doggone it, I hate when our kids get hurt. I really do.
Yeah.
But
it's something that they have to deal with.
But guess what?
CSU has to deal with.
Guess what? Wofford's hurt.
Northern Colorado has to deal with.
Mizzou got hurt. So did the folks at Washington State. They got banged around.
There's probably
so did New Mexico State.
Yeah.
So again,
Boise State's going to have some injuries coming in.
Injuries are part of the game. We understand that. And then my next point then to the coach, and obviously he doesn't have the final say. These are all done, and these are all future games that are coming up. Then maybe we need to stop scheduling the big boys. If we're getting our clocks cleaned. No, I'm serious, Nick. I'm not being a whiner.
Well, I'm just saying we know why those big boys are getting scheduled because, again, it's all about the green. It's
the
about
big paydays.
Money.
But, again, here's what we got coming up next year.
Like, thank you, Missouri.
No, wait a minute. We got Mizzou coming here.
Uh-huh. Good luck on that.
We got Idaho coming in next year.
Yahoo!
Now, if we don't
go Vandals.
If we don't clean the turf up with Idaho next year, something's seriously wrong, right?
Oh, come on, Vandals. You can do it.
And we got Texas State and Tulsa. So, basically, what
Texas State, you should –
wait a minute. What would Coach Bowl say? And since we don't have Washington State and Mizzou back-to-back, we shouldn't have the injury problem. And I'll put New Mexico State there. If we don't have those three games back-to-back, we shouldn't be hurt by the time, Idaho rolls in on September 14th next year.
Yeah.
And again, the caller's right. It's the same press conference, the same softball questions. And again, I could sit there and ask these. I can challenge. These guys don't want to be challenged.
Yeah.
All I got to say to everyone out there, the record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And I say it again, 4-8, 2-10, 8-6 with a bowl game. Loss.
Bowl loss, yeah. And also 2 Mountain West Conference championship loss.
7-5 with a bowl win.
Yeah.
You got bowl eligible last year, and you won the bowl game. This year, 2 up, 2 down.
And it's not looking good for the rest of the season again. If you want to break that down.
This team may not make bowl eligible.
That's why I told you for quite some time you need to lower your expectations with this team because, again, you go off of last year. They were dead last in offensive stats. You thinking that this defense can carry this team, it's done as much as it can. But, again, when you can't even overcome 14 points by Wofford on an offense, you can't overcome the Wofford's 14 points. It took you last seconds to put up a magical touchdown to get that close victory. Sure, Craig Bold mentioned, hey, it's the old cliche of a win's a win. That was still a pretty pathetic and you got lucky win. You're fortunate to be 2-2 right now.
I'm going to be real honest. I don't think he's all that excited about the win himself.
Who knows?
No, I mean, it was like, hey, a win's a win. And he knows that
I would hope that he knows that he's got problems.
But he also, he's going to be that head coach that's complimentary to the opponent, Wofford. And again, you go back and look at the games against Clemson and mentioned, I think it was South Carolina he mentioned. Then you go look at the scores, and it's like, well, Coach, they did eventually pull away from Wofford.
Yeah.
You had to come back in the final few minutes to beat them.
At home.
They were winning.
At home.
Yes, at home, in front of 20,000 fans.
72-20, this team from sea level. Again, if altitude is that little factor, it certainly was yesterday. Again, a team that ran and ran and ran, again, Air Force style of offense, where they ran, they didn't look tired. They didn't look tired at all, especially in that beginning, at least first half of that game.
Now, I will give Wofford a pass because you said this last night when we were talking about this. Wofford, in addition to playing football, also wondering what was going on in their home state. Some of these guys from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Some of these guys from North Carolina when the hurricane Florence hit landfall.
Certainly a lot on their minds.
I'm sure that was on the back of their minds in addition to playing football. Yeah. But they came out and did their job. And they took on the big Division I team.
Yeah, a team that they weren't expected to win.
And again, from sea level to 7,200 feet. And took it to the Wyoming Cowboys. But again, not the defense, because the defense rose and made some stops. Again, we looked at the punts. It was equal in the punts.
Yeah.
The thing was, the Wyoming Cowboy offense did way too many 3 and outs. And we're seeing that as a routine deal with the Cowboys. 3 and out.
Well, it makes you wonder, especially, and this is just tongue-in-cheek, but with the Wyoming Cowboys, you barely pulled off a victory against a team that is technically ranked down in FCS level. Again, a team that's been on good standings in the past couple of years. Again, making it to the FCS playoffs last year. You kind of wonder, you pull off a very close victory. It's like, do we need to move this team down to FCS where we can be competitive and make it to the playoffs and maybe have a better record?
That's been mentioned many a time.
I'm just saying, it's looking like that's your equivalent kind of opponents out there, or at least kind of talent level, or at least if you're going to run that kind of offensive play style. Do we need to now move down to FCS where we can compete and be above 500? Is that what it takes for Craig Bowl?
And here it is too for Coach.
And again,
Bowl.
I'm not saying that, but it's just
I know. But here's what we're going to say for Coach Bowl, who's 24-31.
Yeah.
And excuses are like rear ends. Okay, everybody has one. All right, but here's the other deal. Wofford had nothing to lose.
Oh, no. Coming
up here and had everything to gain.
Yeah.
We had everything to lose. Who came out the better?
I think Wofford.
We won the game. That's what everybody's saying. Well, at least we won.
I really think Wofford, that's big.
Wait a minute. At least we won. Aren't you excited?
No, I'm not. But, again, who came out more, at least better off of these two after that Saturday's contest? Absolutely Wofford. That's huge. That's huge for them. They almost pulled off the upset victory away, all the way against a Division I team, a team that's had all this high-level talent that, again, a quarterback that's now been, drafted first round and everything. It's led by Craig Bowl, a guy who was dominant force in the FCS, again, with those North Dakota State teams. Again, an outfit that Wofford is very familiar with because, again, they play down in the FCS level. I think Wofford, that's huge for them.
Yeah,
this is huge.
Yesterday was, at least we won.
Ugh.
I mean, if that's the way...
You got lucky.
If that's the way we're going to react to games like that, at least we won. Golly gee whiz beef. Again, I guess I have to go back to the Appalachian State Michigan win, where Michigan was like, ready to, jump off Ann Arbor
but let's be honest,
Stadium.
Michigan that year, especially with that Appalachian State loss, they were terrible.
I understand that, but Appalachian State won.
Yeah, but it was that was an early contest that was an indication of how bad the Wolverines were that year.
Okay, Wofford, if you think, again, I sit there and I think one of our one caller yesterday likened them to Air Force. Well, we got a taste of Air Force yesterday. No, wait a minute. We got a taste of Air Force Saturday.
That's what I told you.
But Air Force is going to be a lot better than this Wofford.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be a little bit higher talented. Again, have a little bit better personnel on that team. If you had struggles against Wofford with that same offensive style, good luck against Air Force. I don't think you come away with that victory as much as it is here in Laramie. Again, you look at the schedule again. You got September 29th home against Boise State. I don't think you win that one. At Hawaii, Hawaii's really good. You're not winning that one. You're not winning that one. So that puts them at this point in time 2-4. At Fresno State, sorry. On the road against a very talented Fresno State team that has cruised throughout this early season.
Ask UCLA.
That's 2-5 I have for the Cowboys. Home against Utah State. Utah State that's been competitive on the road.
And they got Air Force this weekend. So we'll get a good clue of how good these two teams are.
And I think Utah State's going to show that they are for real team. They are for real team. But that one, I give advantage to Utah State as much as it is on the road for the Aggies, and also too it is a rivalry. But I have Wyoming now 2-7.
No, you haven't.
2-6.
Then you got CSU at CSU, and again, a buddy of mine from down there who we've gone back and forth. He said this one's a flip of a coin right now.
It really is. It really is. I could see it go either way, but maybe give advantage to Wyoming. I say that's one win for them.
You would think San Jose State is a Wyoming advantage. You would think.
All right, I'll give that to them. So, 4-6?
Air Force? Don't know.
At home against Air Force again. If you struggle against Wofford, they're a little lacking, and you put up that same performance, I think Air Force gets that victory.
And
4-7.
And remember, all these teams that we're talking about, Nick, they're all banged up too.
Oh, yeah.
So their excuses are going to be just like ours.
Yeah.
We're hurting as well. by the time Air Force comes in, don't you think those 3 running backs, the 2 wings, and the fullback could be a little banged up, nicked up?
Oh, absolutely.
Quarterback.
And then final game on the road at New Mexico with the Lobos. I think that should be a victory. So I have the Cowboys at this point in time in my theory.
You never know what Bob Davies going to pull on. He did it a couple of years ago. I mean, it was a track meet.
Yeah, you really don't know with the Lobos, but I would say, in my opinion, Cowboys should win that victory.
Maybe 6-6.
In my opinion, more of a favorable of 5-7.
5-7.
5-7 right now for this Wyoming Cowboys team. If things stay to par, again, now where you're taking on opponents, or at least Mountain West opponents that have proven themselves, especially the likes of Utah State, Hawaii, Boise State, we know all are for real teams. Air Force can be that team that probably could surprise a few folks. It's not looking good.
So
things need to change.
5-7 to me, as I scratch my head here, that would mean that that's not a bowl. You got to have 6 wins to be bowl eligible unless you're Nebraska.
Yeah.
So,
but again, that's just my prediction right now. Again, if I was a future seer into this schedule, if things stay par as is, I think, again, that's why I keep on saying, I've been saying it since the preseason, this team is going to be lucky to make it to a bowl, to be granted a New Mexico bowl or some first day bowl game like that. They're going to be fortunate to hit 6-6. I really do believe so. And again, especially of these first 3 games for most of these teams, again, Hawaii surprises that they are for real formidable outfit. Utah State, I said, I've been on this Utah State team for quite some time ago, and you need to respect this team. They're a year older. They're a talented bunch. They're showing teams, again, they went on the road, Michigan State, and almost won that game.
All right, well, let me ask you
that
a question.
That was beat a ranked team.
Let me ask you this question.
On the road.
What's our excuse going to be this year if we don't make a bowl? What's our excuse?
We're young. We're injured. And that's about it.
Okay.
I think, so that honestly, again, I think that's what would be the excuse. Am I wrong?
No. So
would I be wrong on that? Again, what do they get? Because, again, what have we been hearing so far? We're young. We're injured.
Yeah.
We're young and we're injured. That's why we lost to Missouri. We're young and we're injured.
We're injured in skilled positions right now. But we're getting some key players back for this week.
So will Boise.
Or for the 29th.
So will Boise State.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Because they're on a bye as well.
And let's hope we don't get injured anymore the rest of the season. But again, I sit right here, I still have faith in our defense. Our defense at least is going to keep us close in Mountain West play. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They'll give us opportunities at least to possibly win.
Will that offense take advantage of it? Who knows?
Will we get blown out? I look at
Boise is probably your one blowout.
No, I think Fresno State would probably be your blowout.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Boise State, we could hang tough.
Something tells me, especially
Hawaii's going to be.
Something tells Hawaii that they are a team that can score points, and Utah State. I don't think.
Have
you seen the scores that they've been putting up?
But I don't think
they put up 70.
I would say after Boise State, Hawaii and Fresno State could be ugly games. Could be.
I'm just saying, Utah State, watch out for that team as well too. Again, where they've been taking on FCS teams and putting up 60, 70 points on these teams.
Yeah, but anyway, folks, just note this right now. In his 5th season at UW, Craig Bohl is 24-31, 2-2 this season. But like he said, he's going to win Mountain West Conference championships, and he's going to get us to bowl games. And we've gotten to the Poinsettia Bowl. If I remember, that was $750,000, and then the famous Idaho Potato Bowl was a $700,000 bowl. So there you go. That's exciting.
You get your money from the other teams, where Boise's having the Fortunate Bowls, or Fresno State's in the Vegas Bowl and making money.
Well, that's the way life is.
Right, because, again, you split that money with
all. You split it all through the conference.
There you go.
And I'm sure everybody's real excited to get the Wyoming $350,000 split amongst the 11 teams. Wow. Hey, look, we got $20,000. We'll be right back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Selfless service is the guiding principle that drives Army National Guard soldiers to be always ready whenever disaster strikes. They are your next-door neighbors and your colleagues in schools, offices, and factories. To be a Guard soldier is to stand ready to serve at all times for family, for community, and for country. To learn more, log on to NationalGuard.com or contact an Army National Guard recruiter in your area. Sponsored by the Wyoming Army National Guard. Aired by the Wyoming Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Do you know that almost 165,000 new cases of prostate cancer will occur in the U.S. this year. Do you know that prostate cancer will be diagnosed in 1 out of every 9 males during his lifetime? Cheyenne Urological reminds everyone that September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and checkups are a key component to avoiding prostate cancer. So, gentlemen, stay healthy. Get a checkup. Call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 and make an appointment today. That's 635-4131.
Family owned and operated, Terrell Honda reminds you that the 2018's gotta go now. They're stacked deep so they can be sold cheap. Whether you buy or lease, this is the perfect time of year to shop for the best selection of 2018 Honda Civics, Accords, HRVs, and CRVs before the 2019s hit the showroom floor. So take a test drive today at Terrell Honda, where you'll love their branded dealing. 1919 Westland Road, Motor City, Cheyenne. And check them out online at terrellhonda.com.
Don't move firewood. Firewood can carry insects and diseases that kill trees. Remember to always get firewood as close to your destination as possible. Burn firewood where you buy or gather it. Trees in towns and forests are threatened by native and exotic insects and diseases that can hitch a ride in a load of firewood. Let's keep forests healthy so we can continue to enjoy camping, hiking, hunting, and fishing. Brought to you by the Wyoming State Forestry Division in cooperation with the U.S. Forest Service.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll continue to be partly cloudy with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 75. And on Wednesday night, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today for Tuesday afternoon. Something you'd like to chime in about? Hey, feel free. 514-1071. My bad. Still on the FM side. 307-514-1071.
No, you're just getting senile, like I keep on telling you.
No, I'm not getting senile. I've had a long day today.
Oh.
No, I have.
Here's with you and your excuses.
Oh, no, I've had a
You don't think I've done anything?
No, you haven't.
Oh, please. All right, I'd like to see you run the football, at least the video production for football. I'd like to see you come up with the LCCC basketball schedule. I'd like to see you print out stats and everything.
Come out there, Weiner. I'd like to see you pay for all of it.
That's what you're supposed to do. You own the thing. I don't.
All right, so just
let
it go.
I'm really. That's all you see me as. I'm your little peon and whatnot. Again, I'm doing everything for you.
Again, the old saying, I brought you in this world, I can take you right back out.
You can't do anything at this point. You can't
absolutely.
Couldn't even afford to do it.
Sure I can. All right, let's move off the football scene. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, we have Kevin McKinney on tomorrow. I mean, I don't know what really more to ask Kevin because he's not.
He's not going to bad.
No. I mean, he's seen all the forums. He knows what's going on. He's so in tune, but he's also part of the university. You can't back him into a corner to say, "Hey, what do you think?"
We're not trying. My goal is not to bully the guy. Again, it's just we want answers.
Well, he won't be bullied. He'll tell you, "Hey, you're seeing the game differently than he is."
And guess what? He's got that opinion. And again, some people might express of what he might say tomorrow.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Our caller yesterday saw the game differently than I did.
Yeah.
Again, I gave you, and I said it yesterday too, and I say it again. My opinion only of what I'm seeing, and I'm not giving a pass anymore to this guy who's running the program. Nor am I going to give a pass to that offensive coordinator.
Are we supposed to get away from football?
Yeah, we got to get into baseball because I'm getting upset again, and I start getting all red, and then I got to take a pill. All right, Rockies lose last night. I think the most
go figure on the road against the Dodgers, a team that is fighting for the playoff lives, wants to win that NOS. Guess what? They got it done.
Well, I feel a little more confident with Kyle Freeland on the hill. The Rockies
I'd probably be on the Dodger side and feel pretty confident.
They've had more success against one Clayton Kershaw, but you got to get to him early. If you don't get to him early, and that's the moniker. If you don't get to Clayton Kershaw early, forget about it. Ain't going to happen.
All right.
Well, the Rockies on this road trip.
I think if they do get to him early, I think that Dodger offense is clicking right now, especially with Yasiel Puig, who I do believe was named as NL Player of the Month. I thought it was of the month, but
month's not over.
Something like that. Who cares? Again, he's been on fire.
Well, if you're going to make a statement, make sure you got the cojones to back it up. It's the player of the week.
I adjusted. I don't care. Again, call me out for whatever. I don't care. Anyways, again, the offense is firing. We saw that at the series against the St. Louis Cardinals again, where hey, it's an opponent where you're fighting, at least clawing to get them out of the at least wild card spot, but also too you are still within that NL West. Hey, they took care of things, got 2 out of 3 on that one. Here it is again, another opponent with the Rockies. They were above you in that NL West division as close as it was. Hey, game 1, you came out firing 8-2. I think this Dodger offense, even if Kershaw does get into trouble, can assist them tonight.
Yeah, maybe,
if he does.
and maybe
again,
so.
This offense right now, for whatever reason, Dodgers, they're clicking.
I feel a lot of confidence, and I'm sure he has throughout the course of the year. He is the ace of the staff right now, Kyle Freeland. And I feel that he will be able to match bullet for bullet with Kershaw. Yes, I will give the Dodgers right now.
I don't know about that.
I will give the Dodgers their due offensively. They are much better than the Rockies. Think about it. The Rockies on this 4-game road swing thus far, 3 in San Francisco, last night's game, the Rockies have totaled 5 runs.
Which led to them being 1-3.
5 runs in 36 innings. And 3 of them came in one inning against the Giants. So, and then here's even more bad news, Rocky fans. It was a rough night all around. John Gray got battered about. They also lost slugger Trevor Story. And that was a weird injury that was in the first inning. He makes a and again
and Story, who's been kind of that offensive centerpiece of recent weeks.
Yeah,
again,
but
we saw at least the past home stands where again he was getting those clutch home runs or whatever. That is absolutely for the Rockies a big loss.
Well, and this is what gets me. Machado makes a great stop on Chuck Nasty in the first inning, and I'm over there going, golly jeez. And then Story comes back in the bottom of the inning. He makes a great stop, throws the guy out, and then he turns around and suffers a right elbow injury. So evidently what he did is he tweaked his elbow on a throw in the first inning, aggravated on a swing in the fourth. So he's going to have tests today to determine the severity. That's not good to hear.
That's not a good sign.
So Story was checked by skipper Bud Black and a trainer before leaving the game. Already this season, Story has become the first shortstop in Major League history to have at least 40 doubles, 30 home runs, and 25 steals. They haven't learned anything yet, according to Story. I just kind of felt something on the throw when I dove for the ball, and then my elbow was a little tight. I just tried to play through it. When I swung through the pitch, kind of extended my arm, and it felt a little more. Just being cautious, we'll find out more today. So basically what he's saying is it hurt. He didn't want to say it.
Go figure.
And anybody, and again, I've got the scar here on the left elbow to prove I know what pain in that elbow is all about.
Well, and if it is something serious as what it's looking towards to be, again, if it's something that cancels the rest of the season for Trevor Story, that is a big loss for the Rockies. But it's a Rockies team.
I don't think he'll go on the DL. It's too important.
We'll see. Again, is it worth risking long-term injury for this guy to keep him out there? I don't know. And again, how conservative the Rockies can be with their players, it would not surprise me if maybe you look at shutting him down, put him on the DL.
Or you get the big needle and go right in the elbow.
If you want to risk that long-term injury, if it's something serious.
If it's not serious and it needs a cortisone shot, I'm sure Story is going to step up to the table and get it done.
Either way, though, again, if it is going towards that serious side, though, for Trevor Story, it is a big loss for the Rockies. But I feel like this team, it shouldn't be, though. It really shouldn't be, again, what Trevor Story's been doing this year. Again, the 180 difference of last year of being the strikeout king. Granted, he is still putting up strikeouts, but he's at least getting that offense kind of counterbalance to it this season. Again, as you mentioned, with 40 doubles, I do believe 30 home runs and 25 stolen bases. Again, something that no shortstop has done in MLB history. But you figure losing a guy like that, the Rockies have enough offensive power with Blackman, with an Arenado, with all these pieces around him to pick up that slack. But for whatever reason, Trevor Story's kind of taken that centerpiece, and it's kind of all on him at least in these recent series that the Rockies have been playing.
It's just very ponied up to the bar.
It's just very odd where, again, this is something is not new for the Rockies, at least this season. Even going back to last season, you have all these offensive juggernauts. Why aren't they firing on all cylinders every single time, or at least where maybe one is down of an Arenado, someone else picks him up? No, for whatever reason, it just kind of flip-flops where we got to depend on this guy this week.
No,
and then we got to depend on this guy to get some runs this week.
On this road trip, they've just been cold. So everybody needs
what a terrible time again.
Everybody needs to stand up.
2 weeks left in this season, and you win again against a winnable opponent of the Giants. Granted, they have one of the best home records in all of the NL West, and also a team that's out of it, and also you do have to go on the road against Dodgers. But hey, it's a team that is with their backs against the wall. They've had their struggles. It's a series that is kind of a must. I would say it's absolutely a must win, but you just kind of roll over and just die and go, hey, Dodgers, here you go. Here's one.
Well, let's hope that they don't roll over and die, and let's hope that they open up a few
I don't know
opportunities tonight against Kershaw.
I can't say anything. I can't say anything positive about this series because, again, you know how I am about these two teams. It's like choosing garbage and doggy duty, but it's again, for the Rockies, you need to come out and make a statement tonight against Kershaw. Again, absolutely, you need to shut him down, get him out early, and keep that offense, this Dodger offense that's very potent at this point in time. You need to at least keep him quiet. And with Kyle Freeland, hey, probably your best chance to do it, in my opinion.
And I feel a lot better tonight that Freeland's on the mound.
But they can take advantage of that guy. And Dodgers have done it before.
They've had their struggles against Kyle this season, and also too, Kershaw has had his struggles against the Rockies. And again, Kershaw we know has a dangerous curveball. It's filthy, it's nasty. He does hang him once in a while, and Nolan Arenado's popped a couple of the bullpen off of him. So I am going to roll the dice tonight and say that the Rocks are going to win.
It rarely happens in Los Angeles. So, again, whatever it is of just being in front of that crowd when it does show up there in L.A. But, again, Clayton Kershaw almost seems just untouchable in Los Angeles. So, again, how many countless times have we seen Bumgarner versus him where it just ends in 1-0 victories for the Dodgers? It is that pitcher's duel. Do I anticipate that for tonight's game? I don't. I think the Dodger bats still keep that momentum, stay alive, take advantage of Freeland, and maybe that Rockies bullpen throughout this contest. And I think the Rockies right now, again, the offensive woes continue on. This is a team that keeps on those streaks. How many times have we seen it this season where they go through that roller coaster ride of ups and downs? Guess what? They're on the downswing right now, and it doesn't look like any time, especially with the news of Trevor Story, doesn't look like they're coming out of this funk anytime soon.
Well, tonight's game, and I'll make the
tonight's game for the Rockies is must win.
I will make the prediction tonight. It would not surprise me, and you're right. The offensive output by both teams will be down tonight. I would not be surprised if the Rocks win this thing 3-2, and we'll be nail biting that all the way into the bottom of the ninth inning, as the Dodgers will probably mount some type of attack. And we're going to hope that Wade Davis can actually get somebody out in the bottom of the ninth.
If the Dodgers take tonight's game, Rockies are in a very bad situation.
They'll have some problems. Even a game and a half, and we're not going to sit there and go, oh, it's over and they're done and cooked for.
No, but I think if the Dodgers, if they win this series, though, again, that carries on to the next series and at least throughout the rest of this regular season for the Dodgers. And again, the Dodgers, this is a team that knows. Again, they've been here, did it, done it. They know how to win the West. They've done it for how many years? They've been to the playoffs. They know the formula, how to get it done. They know how to win against these opponents in clutch times. They know what needs to be done. And this is a team that is chugging along. They're looking like a team that's not slowing down anytime soon. So it's got to worry you if you're a Rockies fan or that Colorado Rockies team, that this team is showing no sign that it's given up, that it's not going away anytime soon. And here you are right now, as much as, again, there's still plenty of games left. But you're looking on the outside in, right behind the Dodgers.
And like
now.
I said, tonight's a must-win, and the guy that's been a bulldog for this team has been one Kyle Freeland, and I would be one Bud Black very happy to hand him the baseball tonight, and really you're going to sit right there and go, I need a win tonight, and I think he's going to deliver. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We got more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words. Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com.
The next time you have a craving for authentic Mexican cuisine, visit Guadalajara at 1745 Del Range Boulevard. Locally owned and operated, they serve their dishes with family tried and true recipes with the freshest of ingredients, made to order. Start off your meal with their complimentary chips, salsa, and bean dip. And if you're feeling adventurous, enjoy your favorite margarita or cerveza. Guadalajara, where the spice is always nice.
Your everyday drive should be anything but average. The new 2018 Kia Sportage has state-of-the-art technology for convenience, entertainment, and driver assistance. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and the 2018 Kia Sportage has available subscription-free UVO connectivity with a color touchscreen display for hands-free calling, navigation, music, and more. Stay in touch and be at your best wherever you go. Come in today or call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
For 56 years, 1480 K-Ray has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Also with KYY FM, we are Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM/FM combo radio stations. Add that to the addition of 3 FM radio translators to serve the area with programming from both K-Ray and KYY, and that equals a lot of bang for your local advertising dollar. Radio, yesterday and today, still works. For more information, contact Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 K-Ray.
For today, it'll be partly cloudy with highs around 83. Then for tonight, it'll continue to be partly cloudy with lows around 52. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a possible thunderstorm in the afternoon with highs around 75. And on Wednesday night, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 49.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ball game.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 K-Ray.
So one more baseball note, if you didn't hear, and if I read it right, and I could be wrong, but maybe you read it the same way I did, Nick. Las Vegas 51s, no longer are going to be the Mets AAA franchise. It's going to be the Oakland A's who are going to take over the Las Vegas. Now, did we ever find out where the A's have their AAA?
No. Fresno, maybe? Maybe Fresno. I'm not really 100% sure on that. But, again, with the ever rotation of MILB, especially with the AAA ranks, again, obviously with Sea Springs down the road, with the Sky Sox, guess what? They're losing their AAA affiliation. So that leaves up an opening for at least Milwaukee, which our understanding was San Antonio would be the new AAA affiliate for the Brewers. It's just an ever-rotation thing. Again, going back in the day with the Giants, always was Fresno. The Fresno Grizzlies were the AAA affiliate. Now they took over, at least recent years, took over Sacramento, which was the A's old AAA affiliate. So does it surprise me? It makes sense for at least for the A's. Again, just a quick, instead of wherever their other was.
Nashville. They were the Nashville Sounds.
So it makes sense, again, where you're pulling at least your talent a little bit closer than how far away Nashville is. Again, for the Mets, you don't have to pull all the way from Las Vegas to get out there. I'm
wondering if they're going to switch that up with. Well, I'm wondering if they're going to switch that up with the Mets, because again, we understand that these franchise, or I should say,
well, I mean,
the AAAs,
these teams rotate. They lose that established again.
But in Nashville, I mean,
new cities take advantage of AAA teams. You don't know.
Well, but they draw well in Nashville. The question is, and they're also owned. These franchises are also owned by like you and me. We own the team. And then we get help from the parent company, which would be the Athletics.
But also, too, you rely, like the Sky Sox, again, you rely on also, too, fans. Guess what?
Absolutely.
Hence the reason why the Sky Sox are folding is because that fan base down there in Colorado Springs did not show up. What was the big thing of that press release? It was weather, but also, too, they announced that fan attendance was an issue as well, too, to get them there. So guess what? See, Colorado Springs now loses out on the AAA affiliation and now inherits a rookie ball team out of Helena, Montana, with the Helena Brewers coming in. It's nothing new. You see it all the time in the NHL, especially with AHL. What did we just see down the road with the Colorado Eagles? Again, moving up to now be that AAA affiliate for the Colorado Avalanche. Again, in my opinion, a very smart move for the Avs. But you see teams that have to rotate around. Again, with the Vegas Golden Knights, a new team last season, they didn't have that established minor league system. So guess what? They had to take over the Chicago Wolves, at least franchise, as their AAA affiliate. Now that might change in years to come. They might take over someone else, but hey, again, it's an ever rotation.
Right now it makes sense for the Avs to just go up the road to Loveland.
Yeah,
and grab a player from AAA.
I don't know what they do, especially in the majors, of why they set up stuff. Especially why would you have the Brewers take advantage of Colorado Springs? Why not just leave it with the Rockies?
Well,
where the Rockies can just go down the road and pick up whatever talent.
Then you look at the Rockies.
Granted, it's not farther for Albuquerque, but it still didn't make sense of why.
I know, but the Rockies ended up taking the Albuquerque Dukes away from the Dodgers. And I shouldn't say took them away, but, I mean, next thing they absorbed them.
The Dukes. How about the Isotopes?
Well, no, they used to be the Albuquerque Dukes under the Dodgers.
Well, I'm just saying, of recent years, they're the Isotopes.
I know, but they were for many, many years. Albuquerque was the AAA home for the Dodgers.
Well, same with the Fresno Grizzlies. Again, they were however long for the Giants.
Well, they used to be the Fresno Giants.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know these teams move and make changes, and like you said, attendance plays a big part of it, and weather down in Colorado Springs. But the move for the A's makes a lot of sense.
I think for the A's, they got a big steal on this one, especially where the Vegas 51s, again, they won't be the 51s. Technically, they're going to change names with everything, but hey, it's more in close proximity than Nashville, absolutely. And also, too, Las Vegas, they're moving away from Cashman Center. They're in downtown Las Vegas. They're getting a brand-new field at Summerlin. So these players get to take advantage of 2018 technologies, at least whatever Las Vegas is willing to invest. And also, too, the Vegas 51s is going to invest. And also, too, the Oakland A's now. What are they investing into that brand-new Summerlin, at least ballpark there in the outskirts of Las Vegas? I think for the A's, this is a very good positive for this franchise of, hey, you got something right now. Again, your AAA affiliation is brand new in all aspects. You got brand new everything.
Right.
Take advantage of this.
Well, and I was just looking here because for years back in the day, the Mets AAA farm system was in Tidewater. That was their AAA team. So I'm just looking right now to see where they...
But, I mean, there's multiple of just East Coast teams of why you couldn't find a team in Brooklyn.
Well, they got one in Syracuse, the Syracuse Chiefs. So, again, I don't know. Again, these are lower divisions. Brooklyn Cyclones, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, again, I would venture to say from Las Vegas they're going to move and do like the Avalanche did with the Colorado Eagles. Probably take one of these, Syracuse Chiefs, for example. They're 2A. They're going to make them the AAA affiliate. Who knows? Yeah. But it's interesting how they just move around, and sometimes they do not take the fans into consideration as well. They don't really care. Let's see.
You have a Mets established, or at least a Mets minor league in Las Vegas, which is right next door to Dodgerville, also to Angels, kind of at least area of the country, especially with Las Vegas, where hey, you don't have a Major League Baseball team, you got the 51s. But also, too, again, a lot of those fans are from, or at least looking down to that L.A. down I-15. It kind of didn't make any sense of, they're not going to root for the Mets. They're just going to root for the local team and not care once they move up to the Mets. You're missing on an entire city fan base that's not going to care once they move up to the major leagues.
All right, we got to move on here because we're getting close to the top of the hour. Just a quick football note and two. Last night's Monday night game, because I watched that before the Rocks and the Dodgers, and oh my, does Pete Carroll have a world of problems in Seattle. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy as far as I'm concerned, but poor Russell Wilson. And again, give Khalil Mack his due. He's just tearing it up.
He's making the Oakland Raiders look foolish.
He's making them look very stupid. Did you hear the contract though?
Well, he got paid.
6
years.
Again,
that was again the main thing of why he sat out from the Oakland Raiders was, again, he wanted a long-term and wealthy deal.
6 years, $141 million, $90 million of it guaranteed.
And again, what did I tell you?
Yeah,
Davis, he's cheap.
Well, obviously
he's cheap,
and I'm sure Reggie McKenzie's not going to hang
His
around
reason
long.
why he made Vegas do all those deals and again build up that stadium, because again he didn't have to foot a whole lot of the bill. Las Vegas did. And also to those tourists who go to the Vegas Strip.
Just think, too, the agent for Khalil Mack, he's $14 million richer these days.
He's got money.
Anyway, so the Bears, again, they're defensively are pretty good. Offensively, they still got
they're a work
problems.
in progress.
But they beat Seattle, and from
Seattle,
you and me on the NFC West side,
yeah,
I'm glad. It couldn't happen. Well, them and Arizona couldn't happen to two nicer teams that they're 0-2 right now.
Absolutely. Again, with Seattle, they got worlds of trouble. This is a team that's they're going to fight with Arizona of who's going to be at the bottom of the NFC West at this point in time.
No playoffs for either one of those two.
No, are you kidding me? No.
And then Carson Wentz was named the starting quarterback,
which I talked about yesterday.
Yeah, and again, where they, I guess the question is, did they rush him back because they lost, or was this all planned? What do you think?
In my opinion, I think with Wentz, it was probably the perfect storm. I wouldn't doubt he's close to 100%. Do I think they rushed him out? Part of me wants to say yes, especially with Nick Foles. Again, who led this team? Who led them back to the playoffs? It was not Nick Foles. It was Carson Wentz. That was Carson Wentz's baby.
And again, it's still his team.
Absolutely. And I give respect to the Eagles for doing that. Again, they realized who was the reason why this team made it to the playoffs. It was Carson Wentz. Then he got injured. Nick Foles pulled a Colin Kaepernick, took advantage of that team, and got him the Super Bowl win.
And took home all of the accolades and got all the postseason fun after it was all said and done.
But Nick Foles is nobody.
And evidently at 1-1, he's definitely nobody. All right, we got to wrap things up here on our side of town. We want to thank you for joining us today on Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Forgot to fail to mention as well, too, today, even though it's preseason, but the Vegas Golden Knights, they're down in Denver. It's preseason action. They're taking on the Colorado Avalanche.
Already hockey.
I wish I could be at that game.
Already hockey season.
Cheering on the Golden Knights.
Coming up from 8 until 9.
It is hockey. It is hockey season because also, too, we will have the local team here in studio.
Yeah, well, it's still summer in my book. Anyway, Red Skelton times 2 from 8 until 9 on the Golden Age Radio Theater, and 1 hour of Suspense Theater tonight as we wrap up our Golden Age Radio Theater. 2 hours of classic Golden Age Radio programs for you, so do join us from 8 until 10. For Nick Proetti, we are going to shoot it back to him one last time because we also like to find out what's going on this date in history. I do want to mention one last thing, the best of the 50s and 60s musically coming up as we wrap up our program here at 5 p.m. What do you got?
Let's see. It is September 18th. We'll go back to the year 1963. This finale happened in baseball.
1963. Had something to do with the Giants.
Kind of.
Kind of?
When you hear it, it kind of does.
I was going to say the Yankees beat the Giants for the World Series.
September 18th in 1963?
The Giants and the Mets won 18 innings. I don't know. What?
You have the Mets, right? It was the final game at the Polo Grounds. So Polo Grounds, Giants. But it wasn't the Giants playing. Only 1,752 people were on hand to see the Phillies beat the Mets 5-1 at the final game of the Polo Grounds, the historic Polo Grounds there in New York City.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the Polo Grounds didn't they call that like Flatbush? Because Brooklyn was.
I was around that time. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm just trying to remember all these. And again, you have to